the things I'm excited about, I know are coming in the future, is purchase order creation, manufacture order creation, and production scheduling and rescheduling, right?
Yep.
Not here yet, but I'm super excited to see that in the future.
Yeah.
And
So actually today, we do have available, and we have quite a number of Fishbowl clients that are utilizing the PO writing functionality as well as the manufacturer order writing functionality. And so not only can we make a recommendation on, hey, this is what ConverSight is recommending that you purchase, now let's execute that. So even if we're ordering from 30 different vendors, we can then submit that and it'll write for all 30 of our vendors, saving that down to a one-click exercise. So it does speed up that process. Same thing on the manufacturer order side. We can make that recommendation. Should we be making or building? Now let's take that recommendation and write the work orders back.
yeah, yeah. Now, why this is exciting, you may think, well, Fishbowl already has an auto PO. It already has an auto MO. I spent a lot of my time showing people how to use those features. What's special about the ConverSight purchase creation or the manufacturer order creation? And I think what's special about it is the forecasting aspect. So Fishbowl currently, with its database and its design, is kind of limited to reorder points, okay, which are great for a lot of people. Reorder points are
Yep.
great, but reorder points are limited with their flexibility.
Right.
Okay, so if you have more predictable demand, then reorder points are great. And you only have to
Yep.
update your reorder points maybe once a quarter, right?
Yep.
But if you're seasonal and your demand changes quite a bit, reorder points are really cumbersome to
Yeah.
use. And ConverSight gives you the ability to plunk in what you think you're going to sell per product per month. But even better, ConverSight predicts what
Yep.
you're going to need based on your historical sales, but also based on, now this is kind of exciting, things that are going on in the world supply chain, in the global supply chain. That's where the AI comes in, right?
Yeah. So when we're looking at our forecasting and we're making these recommendations, we are looking at our historical sales. We're looking at what open sales orders that we have. We want to ensure that we're running it off of your data. And so we're using that as a good foundation for how we're predicting forward. Some of the ways that we're doing that, things that are happening in the world. We think about lead time changes. That if we're ordering products from overseas, the system's recognizing, hey, our lead times are starting to bump out. When we're making that recommendation of when and how much to order, we're now also including that lead time. Okay, lead times are going out. We need to order earlier. Same thing if they're on the way down. Maybe lead times are starting to shrink. Okay, maybe we can hold off. We'll wait to place this order. That's going to help from a cash flow perspective. We're not only recommending what and how much and when, but it's also helping us to determine, hey, demand's it's not growing as much as we expected. We have enough inventory on place. Maybe let's hold off and wait. And so, especially in seasonal businesses, what we see most often, and I bring this back to that typical min and max that you'd mentioned, most organizations, they probably don't update them nearly as often as they probably should. And so what we see, and just for round numbers, so say in your peak season, you're selling 10,000 units a week, but then in your off-peak times, you're selling 100 units a week. So if we have our min and max set at 100 units and 10,000 units, we're going to be sitting on a ton of inventory during the slow times. So when we're using that forecast, we're leveraging that to let us know, hey, based on what our predicted sales are going to be here in the next 3, 6, 9 months, it's going to let us know how much inventory we should be ordering to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our customers without ending up ordering too much, too little, or we didn't update our min and maxes. So now we're missing those opportunities to sell to our customers because we've stocked out. Or on the other side of things, we're sitting on a ton of inventory. That means cost, capital that could be used elsewhere,
Yeah.
especially with
That's another
trending products too.
That's another good point too, is in some cases, in some business models, it may make sense to use both the reorder points and the forecasts, right? And just to clarify, a reorder point is an alert point. A min is your safety stock. And then there's the max, that's like your order up to level. That's your
Yep.
warehouse capacity or what you should purchase. And Fishbowl defines the reorder point as open parentheses, lead time plus safety stock, close parentheses, multiplied by use rate, right? And then also, and this is where it becomes difficult, multiplied by forecasted multiplier. And the forecasted multiplier is is a moving target a lot of times. And so that in some cases it's really important to have a tool like ConverSight to look at both reorder points.
Right.
Now, but Ben, does your software also help users calculate their reorder points? Like that formula I just mentioned, that's a calculation, right? I find too many people shooting from the hip and say, oh, let's make the reorder point this and see what happens. I didn't really like that. Let's change the reorder point to this and see what happens. I didn't really like that, right? There's actually a science behind this. There's actually formulas and calculations to help you calculate that alert point.
So one of the things I think I want to touch on is safety stocks. We've done recommended safety stocks for that, recommended reorder points. And really, when we're making that recommendation, all of that logic is already built into that recommendation. So when I think of some of the organizations that we worked with in the past, when we come out with that recommended PO, it's already taking into all of those calculations where we've already done a forecast for them. We're leveraging what POs we already have on order, our inventory. If we're utilizing a bill of materials, we want to make sure we're planning all the way down to the most granular item of the bill of materials. Then looking at what our lead times are, and then it's actually predicting we need to order today so that we avoid the stock out and we're meeting that demand. And so really all of that is built into that logic already. And so from a reorder point, when we're making that recommendation, we're saying, okay, we're going to reorder this day, this much. And if we don't, we're going to stock out on this day. So all of that logic is already built in to those recommendations.
Now, around this time, I see a lot of eyes glaze over. Lose the attention of a lot of people, and we start diving into the calculations and details. They're like, what the heck, But it's so important to understand this, because what I find is a lot of people don't want to use the automated tools because they're scary. They don't know why the software is recommending this. And intuitively, they think that's wrong. Why is it recommending that? My intuition says it should be recommending this other number, but garbage in, garbage out. Usually, if you do some digging, it's not the formula or the calculation that's wrong. It's the garbage in the software that is producing those bad numbers. And a lot of companies really have to go back and elevate the importance of accurate inventory management, accurate real-time receiving, accurate real-time picking, accurate real-time shipping, actually scheduling sales orders, scheduling work orders, right? Actually using the scheduling tools, the dates that the software provides. And if it's not in there, then it's not gonna know, right?
Right.
So there really has to be a group effort to achieve this ease of decision making.
Yeah.
And it's so important for the users to have clear responsibilities, clearly defined roles and responsibilities, and being held accountable for carrying out those roles and responsibilities so the data in the software is clean and the procurement officer or the production manager can lean back in his chair and sip a lemonade and click
Yeah.
a button, you know?
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody, but once this is done, that's what they should be doing is
Right.
it should be reducing the amount of time they spend on that awful huge spreadsheet that they're so proud of. I don't want to knock the
Yeah.
spreadsheet. You've done so much
I
work,
I love a good spreadsheet.
right? You listeners of this video, I know you love your spreadsheet and it's awesome and it shows how brilliant you are. Um, and we're saying, hey, we can do better. It's not personal, and I think most of you would be, completely overjoyed to hear that, okay, we've got your glorified spreadsheet in the cloud in a way that you can control it and manipulate it, and it's connected to the inventory management software you love and is going to soon, this is coming, you're going to be able to click a button and it's going to reschedule, it's going to create work orders, create purchase orders and whatnot. And I should probably say where we come into this, Brandow Consulting, where we come into this is we help you understand how ConverSight works. We know what questions to ask. And so you don't sit in front of ConverSight and say, show me how it works. And they click a button and you don't know what's going on under the hood. So that's kind of where we come in is we can meet with you and the ConverSight expert and have that conversation with you until you're comfortable understanding how it works and how to best use it. I find too many small business owners are embarrassed that they don't just automatically understand it. And you shouldn't be embarrassed.
Not at all.
Like I tell you, half of the people at ConverSight probably don't know how those numbers are coming up to be, and it's so don't feel embarrassed. But I think it's so important to
Yeah.
understand so you can trust it.
I mean, I can even speak for myself. The first 6 months I was at Fishbowl, or not Fishbowl, but ConverSight. It was definitely a crash course in supply chain management and artificial intelligence and analytics. So it does take that time to kind of learn and understand, and definitely something that is something you continually learn. So nothing to be embarrassed about if you don't get it right off the bat.
Okay, so if you're still watching this, you're either an operations geek or you're just letting it run in the background, or this was super helpful and you were glued to the screen the whole way. That's what we do here at Brandow Consulting is we help you decide what software is right for you. So don't hesitate to reach out. And please, please, please react to this video. That tells YouTube that people like this video or if it was beneficial. Any type of reaction, YouTube says, oh, we'll let other people know about this video. So the commenting, please comment, subscribe, whatever kind of reaction you can come up with, react to this video. And we greatly appreciate it. Click the link below, come to our website, fill out a contact form. I'm Lance, inventory software expert since 2006. And we have a lot of other videos like this for other software programs as well.